It is time for you all to experience the last horrifying dream this very night. It is not surprising to have a great fear of seeing and being hounded by supernatural monsters that no scientific mind could explain away, or any normal person could ever hope to combat on equal ground. But having to deal with one unstoppable terror-inducing supernatural being is frightening on its own. But what if you were thrust into a situation where you had to deal with several dangerous entities in one place? This nightmare will most likely very well make you cower at the very core of your being. Once again, this is a vision that implants the observer into the ill-fated individual in question. This sad excuse of an existence you will come to know personally as yourself is a man who does not have a name and is only known as a D-class personnel with a set of meaningless numbers as a form of identification, who, like the rest of his unforgivable colleagues of the D-class, are atoning for terrible, unmentionable crimes within the complex called SCP, Secure, Contain, Protect. The organization is a secret government facility that holds and secures the world's many unexplained supernatural items and beings within its walls, most of them dangerous and kept under unconventional lock and key to protect the innocent. The SCP soldiers came to get him and ordered him to head to a holding cell of one of the supernatural beings for tests. This was the everyday life for a D-class, to be fittingly used as guinea pigs against their will, all in the name to see how a supernatural being or item worked with no risk to the soldiers or any innocent people who safely lived outside its walls, ignorant of such horrors being present in their world. Soon he entered the room with two other D-class personnel and a soldier on the platform above, while orders over the intercom came for the D-class to enter the holding cell of SCP-173. And there it was, a statue standing motionless within its cell, with the floors stained with blood. At first glance, it looked harmless enough, just standing there against the wall, but within this complex, nothing is held in a lonely prison with a blast door for a cell door without a very good reason. And soon, this man would see why such a defenseless-looking statue would be kept under heavy lock and key.
There seems to be a problem with the door control system. The door isn't responding to any of our attempts to close it, so please maintain direct eye contact with SCP-173
This was it. This was going to be a day unlike any other. Not wanting to suffer the same fate as his fellow D-class or the soldiers, he ran out of the room to survive, and to now escape the complex. The base was now completely plunged into darkness, and there was only one way out, straight forward through the door. As he quickly made his way through the halls, he made a grab for any useful items along the way. A gas mask, security cards, batteries, anything that would help in his survival within the unknown complex. As he went at a brisk pace, he frantically explored every room he came by for both items or for the nearest door that would lead him to the way out faster. Within the complex, gas spewed out of pipes, obscuring vision. Electric traps were set in specific parts of the hallways, machines that were never intended to be used by inexperienced hands like his, and corpses of those once living now littered the many rooms and halls of the facility. However, things would not be so easy. Somehow, always following him, the statue, SCP-173, is there, stalking him when he is not looking, and yet unmoving when in sight. Now that he could get a better look at the unsettling sculpture, and he was face to face with it, he stared intently at the weirdly shaped concrete from its short, thin legs, and up to its equally short, thin, outstretched arms. His eyes met with its spray-painted face. Its face was like staring at an ink blot that was a mixture of red, black, and green that somehow made a face with many soulless eyes, staring back at him, gripping at his very core with a heart-pounding fright at the look of disconcerting emptiness that seemed intent on making life stare blankly just as much as it does. This supernatural killer could only move if no eyes were staring at him. Even a momentary blink is enough for him to close the distance between them, enough to come after him and snap his neck like a twig. With his heart racing from the fear of death looming ever closer to him if he so much blinks, he tried to move while keeping the supernatural statue always in sight, and once he exited the room, he immediately closed the door. Every time 173 was out of sight, he could hear the sound of scraping stone, a sound that would forever fill his heart with dread, for it was a constant reminder that death was closing in on him fast. But this would not be the only danger he would face. Many more lied in wait in the darkness. Many more horrifying creatures, each one just as terrifyingly dangerous, that take the lives of others into their hands and irreversibly break life, both mentally or worse, physically. No matter where he went, danger always lurked in the darkness of the facility, as every fiber of his despicable being was filled with pure terror from each encounter he had with those supernatural creatures that wanted to in some way kill him in different ways, each one with their own frightening visages that terrified the D-class man to even so much as look at them and yet not seeing them made him even more terrified of not knowing when they would come and strike when he least suspected it. Even the only humane people that have entered the complex to clean up will shoot him on sight, with little regard for whether he is a monster or not. But then again, considering his position, is there really any differences between him and the monsters within the facility? All of this made him extremely cautious and alert, his mind becoming more wary of his surroundings, for any room that looked safe at first could very well suddenly change into a room of his worst nightmare, especially if that nightmare came to pass from one one's curiosity that should have been left well enough alone. The gift of sight is such a beautiful thing. It will let you see the splendor of this world that it has to offer, yet it will also let you witness the dangers that come for you and make your life hang in the balance. Cherish that precious gift, for it may just be the very thing that saves your life. Ah, and as the bell rings, our gathering must come to an end. You may be free after this night, but know this: the nightmares you create shall continue to flow and haunt you as you sleep. But one fateful night, I, the gatekeeper of what you mortals fear and so, shall return with all the terrors in tow.